She calls up mentors from different locations, from Shane Beshen if she wants to work on airs, Poncho Sullivan if it's bigger waves like Sunset Beach.
That knowledge of being able to compete by themselves and not relying on somebody else. And that's what I like a lot about Ross.
Beautiful arc to kick things off for the Queen of Snapper Rocks. Making those comparisons herself to her home break back in Oz. Just kind of a setup wave to kick this one off with Tatiana Weston-Webb. You're always curious who's going to start first. We're looking at this critical heat in the quarterfinals. Steph versus Tati. This was what Gilmore did to open up the matchup.
Yeah, just a 2.83. Wanted to get a quick wave in the beginning of the heat and, you know, sets her up for what I think is the most dangerous version of Stephanie Gilmore.
We can now make it official with both these athletes in the lineup. Steph Gilmore in the number 5 spot at the moment. We'll be seeing her at lower. Trestles in the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Gilmore now off the bottom, setting up a nice vertical over the roof. Snap to float into a gorgeous wrap. Nice finesse for Gilmore. Carve and just early to a wild end section. That was all about her experience, knowing where to place that board on a floater section that almost looked impossible.
I could maybe match that, if not even go a little bit better. And great wave selection, and as I told you, under Tati's priority. Beautiful carve right there, but there's one bottom turn after this. Look at how long and drawn out that was. Just beautiful positioning on the rest of the wave after that bottom turn. Combos it up, love the pace, love the read, and this is where regular footers have an advantage in comparison to goofy footers, Joe. They can read the wave better down the line and compared to somebody who has their back up against the wall.
So many different types of turns, and I love how you felt Carissa Moore motivating Steph, because they always have done that in their careers. Dangerous end section. That thing can take you out, break your board, and I love how she got up there so early. Her best wave so far in this heat.
That's the beauty of Stephanie Gilmore surfing, is that she surfs to the wave's potential. Doesn't really do much more than that or anything under it.
Tatiana Weston-Webb, airdrop. Controls it without a problem. We'll see how she's going to fight back to get into this heat. Attacks the whitewater. Representing Brazil on tour as she belts it there. Hard snap there. She'll recover the nose. Smooth bottom turn. Stabs it quickly. A loose re-entry there with a lot of commitment. And she will crack that second.
I hadn't caught a wave in the first 15 minutes. And let's look at Tati's first. Difficult wave to read right at the beginning. Struggled to get to the open face, but once she did, went to work. And this is the one advantage the goofy footers have over regular footers right now, Joe. They can get their board a lot more vertical in these steep sections in the pocket. Beautiful combination right there from Tati. Recovers well after catching her nose. And then goes up into the lip several times in the row. The wave backed off a little bit though. It was tough to read, and it wasn't Tati's fault, but she did the best she could with what she got.
Gilmore, quick to answer. Stretching out this wall before she then redirects. One of the best forehand swoops we've ever seen on tour. She'll continue just to weave back and forth. Coming from Australia, but has numerous trips to Mexico behind her. Nice tight wrapping turn. She'll use that section to hack it in the whitewater, and a wild backwash end section, but Steph has been perfect on her completions in there.
I love that forehand cutback. I'd have to say the best style, you know, the men's and women's tour, Joe. Another one, and just picked up the pace halfway through it as the wave started to bowl up on the inside. I love that setup carve right there where she slides the fins at the end, and I thought this finish was so important to the score.
Or will we see Tatiana Weston-Webb come from behind in this one.
Yeah, and Tati's made several finals on her backhand. Already won at Margie's this year on her backhand too, Joe.
Steph Gilmore getting started up and out. Priority stays with Tati. Yeah, such a solid backhand attack. She's always loved Margaret River. It was so rad to see her podium and with a major victory.
It doesn't matter until you get there, until you put the jersey on for the first time. And if your goal's the same, the championship doesn't matter if you're first or fifth.
Steph Gilmore will fade and look to improve on her lead. She'll just hop out. 10:45 to go. Yeah, speaking of seeding, Mitch, it's just Gilmore 5th, Tati 4th. So you're thinking if Steph does take this win, maybe she'll have a chance to move to 4th.
For Andy.
And also it would be her first victory
True.
of her career if that does happen. Still a lot of surfing to go. Here's Gilmore. Looking really quick on a smaller wave, so really decided to commit to some serious rail work. And then blowing the tail into a layback. When you think of progression with Gilmore, she does one of my favorite turns, a grab rail tail slide. And she can do it really quick. Style's always been around in surfing, hasn't it? On land or the water. Here's Gilmore once again.
Well, you know who has style on land and in the water is Steph Gilmore. She's looking to better a 5.4, Joe, and I think she did that at just a bit more. Smaller wave, but as you were saying, looks very quick. Just gained. Oh, is something crucial to big scores.
Over the falls. And it was a serious waterfall, water there. Tati going for an incredibly late takeoff the board and still tombstoning, and she had a pretty long hold down on that wave. Really enjoying this preview of what could be the first match at Lower Trestles, and we'll see what happens with confidence. Gilmore still having Tati comboed. If this ends up being that first match at Lowers, think about the confidence for Gilmore knowing that she beat Tati in a high performance wave.
She just has both sides of the peak right there to really develop her scores, and in a priority system with only 2 people out there, it's going to be hard to beat her if the waves are pumping.
Tatiana Weston-Webb, stellar season, the champ in West Oz at Margaret River. And that wave was big, it was powerful, it was pretty scary at times, especially on that gigantic day we opened up with.
I think she had a couple of scores in the 9s. Then the final, she just dominated.
And that really put her in a great position. And you have to mention right before that a Pipeline where she was expected to win. She was a little frustrated with her performance when she went down before the final, losing to Tyler Wright. And now Tati's going to call it a day here with 1:40 on the clock. Big congrats to her on clinching that spot. The Rip Curl WSL Finals on a stellar season here in 2021.
It's going to be epic.
Now Steph enjoying the lineup still at 20 seconds, all by herself. .833 her high mark, 717. She has so much soul in her surfing. Have that natural ability from day one.
Could watch her surf all day long.
Steph Gilmore will enjoy her final lap as she'll prepare for a semifinal. Coming up next, men's quarterfinals. World #1 Medina headlining the heat with David Silva. We'll be right back.